Hello and welcome to the second episode of the Horror Shots Review. This week I'm going to be looking at a movie that's not horror. Plain and simple, not going to be a horror movie today. As weird as that may seem, being called Horror Shots, I do a lot of mythological stuff, a lot of legendary stuff, a lot of Fantastic Beast style stuff, which is a nice segue to the movie I'm reviewing, Fantastic Beasts 2, The Crimes of Grindelwald. And I like how they call him Grindelwald, with the V for the W being like Austrian style thing. It's really cool. Polish? Something like that. The film itself, I'm going to come right out of the bat and say it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It was fun to watch. Had a lot of entertainment value, which is all you can ask for from a Harry Potter movie, which is what this is. It's the second movie in what is going to be a trilogy, I believe. I don't think they're going to go beyond 3 for this one, but it was still pretty good. Pretty good for a second. Not quite like Empire good, but still good for the second movie in a franchise. Before we get into anything super serious, I'm going to get into the bad. There are a couple of bad things about this movie that I wasn't a huge fan of. One being the cinematography. Cinematography is important to me being a photographer, and I didn't think it was super great. It could have used some work. Not every shot was bad, but there were some really weird ones where they did like this box close-up of the characters while they're talking and moving, and it looked like a weird point of view, and it just seemed out of place. It only happened maybe 4 times throughout the entire movie. It just seemed really, really weird and out of place to me, and I didn't like it. That was the only gripe I had with that. Other than that, I didn't like how it's called Fantastic Beasts and where to find them, and they didn't really introduce any new beasts. They had a couple at the beginning where they showed, kind of Newt in his suitcase thing that goes into this magical world. They had that, and they showed a bunch of cool stuff in there. And there's some glory shots, or money shots, essentially, of him riding this big seaweed monster and showing off some of the little creatures that he has in his possession, or his briefcase thing. Other than that, they didn't play any important role in the film, except for the little hedgehog guys, who were from the original movie. Those guys are back, those little kleptomaniacs who like to steal all the shiny gold and that stuff. They're adorable, they're cute, they're like a platypus mixed with a hedgehog, this thing over here. Those things are really cool, and they came back, which is understandable because they're going to be like the mascot, I imagine, where they're probably sold a ton of toys based on those little guys, so understandable that they're back. Other than that, they didn't really introduce anything special. They had one other beast that came out, and he played kind of an integral role throughout the film. Beyond that, nothing really new, and it's called Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, The Crimes of Grindelwald, which is fine, and they chose to focus on the subtitle more than the title. Understandable. It's like Harry Potter and Harry Potter and. So it makes sense that they want to focus on the Grindelwald part, as he's going to be the main sort of antagonist going on. Speaking of Grindelwald, played by Johnny Depp. This movie does have a great cast, so those are the only bad. I'm going to get into some of the good now. Great cast, like I said, Johnny Depp, Eddie Redmayne, Jude Law. You got Dan Fogler as kind of a support, and you got a bunch of other people in there. I think Zoe Kravitz is in it, this one. Really, really, really good cast, and they all play their roles really well. Of course, Johnny Depp steals the show, as he always does. He has a mixture of himself, and he has a mixture of Jack Sparrow, and he just kind of puts them together, and you get this really cool character. Very cool character, kind of like a Thanos-style inspiration for why he's doing what he's doing. He doesn't want everybody to burn, he doesn't want everybody to die, he doesn't want to clear the world of non-magic users, but he does think magic users deserve a fair shot at being public, being in the eye, being open in the world without having to hide, which is a really noble cause, and he gets a bunch of magic users to, or purebloods, or whatever you want to call them, to join his crusade. Now this whole franchise, the whole Harry Potter thing is based on one thing, and it's very dark if you break it down. A grown man trying to kill a baby. That's what the first 8 Harry Potter movies, 7 Harry Potter movies, however many Harry Potter movies there are, that's what they're based on. Based on one guy trying to kill a kid. So you'd expect it to be ruthless, and Grindelwald is just that. At the beginning of the movie, he has this little pet that he's been imprisoned with, and I'm not sure how long they've been imprisoned, but they've been together for quite a while, or so it seems, and this pet helps him escape. Gets his key, gets his little amulet thing back. I'm still fuzzing on what that exactly was. It did explain it, but it was a little too... Anyway, gets that back, and the little thing just wants some attention. It's going up, and it's like, oh, come here. And then he chucks it out the side of a moving carriage that's flying through the air. Grindelwald just goes, oh, hey, you're needy. Gone. Gone, just like that. Ruthless. And then later on, he kills a kid. So he did something Voldemort couldn't even do. And by I mean kid, I mean like a 2-year-old. So the movie's ruthless. The characters are ruthless, but they're really well done. And you really love to hate the character, which is what you want out of a bad guy. And of course, Eddie Redmayne does his best as Newt Scamander. Newt Scamander. And Ezra Miller is in there as well. He does a good job for the small screen time he has. He's a good actor. I like Ezra Miller. There's nothing against him. He's a great guy. From what I've ever heard about him, he's really, really likable in Hollywood as well. In the end, if you do like the Harry Potter movies, you like fantastic sort of scenes and settings, and you like wizardry, and you like magic, and you like these fantastical elements to movies and storytelling and stuff like that, you should really, really like this movie. If you saw the first one, you have to see this one, and then you're going to have to see the third one. So they've got you hooked, line, and sinker. In the end, I suggest you go see it. I give it a 4 out of 5 on my personal rating scale, which is more or less arbitrary based on how I like it. There's no metric. There's no, oh, the cinematography is this, the writing is this, the directing is this. No, just how much I enjoyed it. I'd watch it again. Probably will watch it again. And now you may be asking, how does this relate to the podcast? Well, it is Fantastical Beasts, and you may have listened to episodes on Bigfoot or other mythological creatures like vampires and stuff like that. So this movie introduces a very famous Harry Potter character / beast, and that would be the Phoenix. The Dumbledore family Phoenix makes an appearance in this one, and that is what I'm going to be looking at on the podcast coming up on Monday. Sorry about that. It was supposed to be up today. Things got out of control this week, and I kind of didn't have time to do anything until today. So this is going up today. Podcast should be going up Monday. Should be a good time. So I'm going to be looking at the Phoenix, its origins, the mythology behind it, all that kind of fun stuff. As always, leave a comment, like, subscribe to the video. It helps me get noticed in this big sea of YouTube and the internet in general. If you can do that, that would be fantastic. Be great. If you want to contact me, you can find all my contact information in the description below. Also, don't forget to check out the podcast. If you like that, share it, link it, review it, all that kind of stuff. Really helps me get out there. And the more I can get out there, the more you guys can talk about it with your peers. And then you can give me ideas. I got a comment, and I'm pretty sure I know who the comment's from, to do a review on a movie. Can't remember the name of it right now, but it's on Hulu. The Night Watchman, something like that. And I will definitely check that out. So if you do want to see something, let me know. And I will try to incorporate that the best I can into the podcast as well. So until next time, on Monday, look forward to the Phoenix.